Firegirl, Chapter 14. When I got to the bottom of the stairs, my legs felt like water. I turned and found Jessica's father standing in the living room. "Sit down for a minute," he said. "Oh man, no, please, no. I have to leave, but I couldn't think of any way to get out of this." He moved over to a big chair, so I sat down. The corners of the room were full of moving boxes. The few pieces of furniture, a couch, 3 chairs, a low table, seemed placed any old way around the room, as if Jessica and her family had moved in only minutes before. Nothing matched, for one thing. The chairs were all different fabrics and clashing colors, too big for the room, and they were old. Rich had said that the Feeneys were hiding out from the police, and probably their furniture came from the dump, which is where all criminals got their furniture. You could prove it by calling the dump to ask if anything was missing. Remembering that, I nearly laughed, except that the air in the room seemed so heavy it probably would have sucked away any sound. Then Mr. Feeney started asking questions, general stuff, like about St. Catherine's and my family and where I lived and stuff, nothing very deep. But there was a picture frame on the coffee table that was mostly turned away from me. I leaned in to try to see what it was, and was shocked to find that it was a larger copy of the little one that had fallen out of Jessica's pencil case. Her sister and her father at the beach club, except this one wasn't cut off on the side. I was suddenly all confused. I had expected to see Jessica in the picture. Instead, there was an older, brown-haired woman standing there, and she was smiling too. A terrible idea had begun to grow in me, just like it had when I first saw the picture in school. "I saw this," I said, moving the frame around so that we could both see it, but not all of it. Looking at the woman, I guessed it was Jessica's mother. But if Jessica didn't cut herself out of the photograph, where was she? I glanced around the room, but I didn't see any other pictures. Well, of course not, stupid. Why would anyone want to torture her by having a picture of her the way she used to look and will never look again? "That was a few weeks before the accident," he said. "The accident? It was an accident." I nodded. "Sorry." "Jessica likes it." And her father went on, "Well, I don't know if she likes it, but she wants us to keep it around where we can all see it. I don't think it helps anybody. Not me for sure, and not Mrs. Feeney. Jessica wants to, I don't know." He sighed. "I'm sorry," I said again. I knew I had to say something, but I didn't know what. I didn't know what. I looked closely at the girl. She really was beautiful and fun looking, and with that little smile on her lips. "It must have been really terrible," I said. "I remember when my grandfather died. I was little, but I knew that everybody was upset because it was sort of sudden. I'm sorry. It must have been bad when she died." "When she died," Mr. Feeney repeated softly. His eyebrows wrinkled. "I thought you said it was your grandfather that died." I looked at him. I started to feel sick again. No, it was my grandfather. I meant when she died." I motioned to the picture. His hand was trembling. "Her, Jessica's sister." "Jessica's sister?" Mr. Feeney said, leaning over the table, almost as if he was going to jump at me. I was shaking. "Jessica's sister? Who do you think you're looking at? She doesn't have a sister. Where did you get that idea? Where did you get the idea that she has a sister?" I kept staring at the picture, trying to get it. Words formed in my head, but they got all garbled on my tongue. "But she had it at school, and somebody asked if it was her, but she said—" No, he moaned, jerking back in his chair. "That is Jessica. That is Jessica." My blood froze. Oh, God, no, it is her. The smile on that girl. I just stared at the picture and kept staring because I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it, and I didn't want to see his face again. My stomach was twisting inside me. This girl is Jessica? Where is her face? Where did it go? Oh, no, no, no. I'm sorry, Mr. Feeney, I said, slumping again into his chair and letting out a huge breath. Did Jessica play a trick on you? My chest heaved suddenly, and my throat felt thick. I shook my head. That wasn't it. That's not what happened. Well, she's done it before, I think. She's done lots of strange things. I'm sorry she did that. Jessica has her ways of dealing with what happened, I guess. We were silent for a while. A part of me couldn't believe that I was talking to her father, the burned girl's father. I'm sorry she did that, he said. Again. So, how did it happen? I said, finally, surprised at the way the question just came out. He made a short gesture with his hand as if it were so long ago that there was no point telling it all again. He seemed to go inside himself, but then he started rambling around and around for a while as if he didn't want to go over the old story and didn't want to say all the words again, but couldn't stop himself. From what he did say, I sort of pieced together the answer. Sometime when Jessica was in the 6th grade, she and her mother had gone to a place called World of Dance or Dance World to pick up tickets for a recital that Jessica was in. She loved dancing as much as she loved tennis and biking. When Jessica was sitting out front in the car, which Mr. Feeney said was still running, some old man had a kind of attack while driving down the street in his truck. He was going too fast, and he smashed into the back of the car Jessica was in, ramming it really hard into the car parked in front of it. Gasoline burst from the gas tank and went everywhere inside the car. Everything caught fire, and so did Jessica. Because of the flames and the heat, and the truck jammed against it, it was a while before anyone could get her out. Her mother came rushing out of the dance place, but she couldn't get anywhere near the car. No one could. By the time the fire rescue trucks arrived, most of Jessica's body was burned. I couldn't stop myself from crying while Mr. Feeney was saying all of this, amazed at what he was telling me. Finally, he stopped, shrugged his shoulders again, and settled back into the chair. Wiping my face and trying to keep my voice low so that she wouldn't hear what I was saying, I asked him, "Will it get any better?" The expression on his face showed how many times people had asked him that. He smiled stiffly and said, "A little, over time, not right away." "But how long would it be? Will I see her as she looked before? Could the doctors make her look like the picture again? Were they even trying for that? Could they do it? Could they find her face under all of that?" Try not to think about how long it might be," he said. "It's hard. Every time a doctor says something, your mind goes on. You want it so bad. It'll be it's a long road. She'll never look the way like that again. But that's only part of it. Her lungs were badly damaged, the circulation in her legs. But I couldn't imagine going on without her around. We love Jessica, now more than ever. We're glad she's alive. That's pretty much it." And that was it. Mr. Feeney rose from the chair as if he were balancing a big sack of something heavy on his shoulders. He wobbled for a couple of seconds, then made his way back into the kitchen. He started cleaning again. To my horror, I heard someone rushing back up from the bottom of the stairs. Jessica had been listening. Oh my God. I left, going past her father and out the side step just as a minivan was pulling into the driveway. A woman got out, holding a bag of groceries. She had brown hair that was pushed back behind her ears. This was the mother Jessica hated. I stopped in front of the garage door next to the back step. I wondered what she would sound like. She was there, after all, 2 years ago when the thing happened to Jessica. She'd left the car running. Did that make a difference? Hi, I said. I'm Tom. She must not have seen or heard me because she didn't say anything. She went around the back of her car, opened the rear door, pulled out another bag of groceries. She was thin and about as tall as my mom, but she seemed small somehow and shorter because she was bent over the bag she was balancing. She went past quickly and in the side door, which Mr. Feeney opened for her, but I didn't hear them say anything to each other. On the way home, I felt as if I had been beaten over and over with a baseball bat. I just couldn't imagine being burned like that, trapped in a burning car. And she was alive and going on. She was going to school. It was too much to understand, too much to get. I started crying again, and when I got inside, I rushed upstairs to the bathroom where I got sick.